Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ryal Thomas. The title of the show this evening is titled Faith and You. I have so much I want to discuss. We only have half an hour to discuss this topic, but get ready to sit back and relax, and hopefully this will guide you into some other thoughts. I know it will guide me into some thoughts, but I just want to go ahead and get started with this. Before I get started, I want to say that there is a God. There is a God. And I know that without saying anything else other than the fact that I believe there's a God, I feel there's a God, and without any question, I know there is a God. There is a creator. But I want to talk about this because a lot of times we depend on things. We depend on things, we depend on other people. We depend on situations that we may get into, and we rely upon God or someone pulling us out of it. I'm going to give you an example right now of something, and just follow me with this. When one receives instructions to put together a bicycle, and this rule book, this book of directions is to help you put together this bike. Now, if you do not apply and you put the bike together wrong, and all of a sudden an accident occurs due to the fact that you didn't install the brakes properly, you cannot blame the book. You cannot blame your interpretations of something that was put there for you correctly when you may have interpreted wrong. So my point being is this: the Bible, in which I feel it's a brilliant, it's a beautiful book. And like I said, and I may say this throughout the show, there is a creator, there is a God. I'm very much aware of that. But we must remember that God has given us all the tools that we need to work with. He's given us all the tools that we need to work with. In the beginning, those tools were stored upon us when we were born, even before we were born. And if things are happening in your life and you feel that there may be some unanswered questions that you may have in regards to maybe that, hey, you feel that you're not being blessed properly, things of such, life for each and every last one of us is the blessing. Life alone for each and every last one of us is the true blessing that God has given all of us. When we run into complications and situations that we feel that we need help with, it's nothing wrong with praying and asking for help. But let me go a little deeper with this. Sometimes we are praying for things that we can solve ourselves. These things that come on us, and we feel as if we need to pray about every little thing that happens in our life. See, you have a will. You have determination. as far as I am concerned, and like I said, these are just my opinions, when you pray, you actually crack open the door to your will, and you don't even know that you're cracking open the door. Let's say that you're coming home, you're coming home, and there's heavy traffic. And before you get on the highway, you may ask the Lord to watch over you. Please get me home safe. It is nothing at all wrong with that. But when you pray like that, you are actually, in my opinion, talking to your consciousness. You are talking to yourself. And all of a sudden, because you have prayed, because you are now aware of what you have prayed about, you're a little bit more cautious about what you're doing. You are on the road and you're looking at the cars coming close to you. You're looking up the highway a little further, seeing if there's something that you need to look out for, because you have cracked open the door to your awareness. The mere fact that you have prayed about this means that you are more aware that something is about to happen. We must understand that. We must understand that the will, the determination to do, to say, to look further into something, is beautiful. It's beautiful because that's what's happening. When you are taking a look at something that you feel that you have prayed about, you have actually cracked open the door for you to be aware of what's about to happen, what's going to happen, and that's all on you. See, the paramedics, they know this. And for example, when they arrive at an accident and it may be someone injured extremely bad, they're working on the patient, or working on the individual, I should say, and they first and foremost say you're going to make it. Don't give up. Say you're going to make it, because they know then when you release those words as far as I'm going to make it, I'm going to be all right, that means you are tapping into your will to survive, your will to come up out of this. See, it's something very, very powerful that we may not even understand, and that's our will. I'm going to tell you a story real quick. There once was a guy where there were two individuals on a snowmobile, and one of them fell through the ice, and it may have been 10, 15 degrees below zero. One individual went back to get help because he could not get his friend out of the ice. He returned to the station to get help. They did not want the individual to go back because they felt that he would be dead. It was an hour or two to get back to this individual, to the station and back to the individual who had fell through the ice. They found him singing in sub-zero degrees. The doctors came from around the world. This guy didn't have any internal injuries, and they didn't know why. The average person should have died. Well, would have died, I should say. How did this individual survive? It was a mystery. And they asked him, and his reply was that he put his mind in a warm place, in a place where he thought of nothing but warmth, nothing but heat, nothing but energy. See, we must remember that the mind is the engine of everything that we're doing. It controls our feelings. It controls what we're going to do for that day. The mind is like a computer, far more advanced than a computer. We just don't use all of it. Anytime that we are able to look at something and feel the pain of something or someone else, or to hear a song and to all of a sudden chills jump on your arms, what is that actually telling you? That's telling you through sight, through a feeling, that your body can be changed. And if that's being done on a small level, how and what do we know? What is actually being done on a level that we cannot even see? So what's being done internally to our body that may make us go into a condition or feel a condition, or what's happening? We don't know what type of chemical reaction or imbalance or that we're taking our body through just by a mere sight, the mere sight of something, the mere feeling of something, the mere touch of something. What are we doing? So I want to say again, faith and you, prayer cracks open the door to your will, to your determination to achieve what you feel that needs to be achieved in your life. It's not all about putting things down on paper and pencil. It's not always about going to the doctor. Sometimes you are your doctor. Sometimes you're your own doctor once you realize what's wrong and identifying the problem and dealing with it. See, your body will do the rest. We don't know what we are capable of. But I say all of this to say that praying for every little thing that you feel that's going on in your life may or may not be a mistake. Praying for certain things and you feel that your prayers are not being answered, sometimes you can lose faith. You can lose faith, and that can be more damaging than anything. So what I'm telling you this evening is that look into yourself. Understand what's going on. And if you feel that prayer is the door being opening, or prayer is the key to open the door to your will and your determination, then by all means keep praying if that's going to get you through the day or get you through a situation. But I'm here to tell you that there's a lot more power that we have within ourselves. We're born with it. We're born with that power, our power to heal, our power to realize things, our power to recognize what needs to be done. But in today's society, with everything that's going on, the computers are there, you jump in your car, everything is just at reach now. We don't take a lot of time to study what the possibilities are when it comes to healing ourselves. We run around and we grab an aspirin, and I'm not saying do not take your medication. I'm not saying do not go to the doctor. What I am saying is that understand you. Because there are cases that when you go to the doctor will say, I have no idea what's wrong. I I don't see anything wrong. They do there's the blood work. There's other things, other tests that are being done, and they're getting with their colleagues, and they're looking at x-rays and examining blood, and they cannot find anything. But how can you find a feeling? How can you find a feeling that's eating at you? How can you find a feeling? How can you help that? How can you, prescribe some sort of medication for a feeling that's lying dormant in your soul, that's lying dormant in your spirit? You can't. First, you must realize what it is. Knowing what the situation is half the battle. You have to be extremely careful, but you have to know that you don't want to rely all the time on something or someone to pull you out of something when you have the power within yourself. You have that power. So prayer is great. There are things that lie within inside of you that we have no idea. I was watching TV before I came here this evening. And this lady, she survived, I think it's 17, 19 days in the woods all by herself. And this is what she said. And I turned around and looked, at the TV, and I'm looking into this individual's eyes, and she said she had a choice. Now, listen to this. She said she had a choice to live or die. When she made the choice in her mind to live, she automatically, she didn't crack open the door, she kicked the door open. She kicked the door open because her will and her determination kicked in unbeknown to her. She was actually talking to her will unbeknown to her. She didn't know that she was kicking open the door because instinctively she knew she had to survive. I'm not saying that she didn't say a prayer, and if she did say a prayer, that was giving her more strength, more determination, more will. But she said she made a choice. See, listen to this. A choice she made. And she started doing remarkable things. She started soaking her ankles, she said, and she started looking around for things that she needed to eat. She started just putting herself in a place, in a mental place where survival was the only way out for her. When you're going down a one-way street, unless you back up, that's the only route. That's the only way you can go. So, again, these are my own opinions. Decisions, the will, your determination will keep you on track with your life. Unless there is something medically wrong with you, you don't know what may make you feel a certain way. But if you research it and you think back and you get away from the hustle and the bustle of the world and get away from individuals telling you, well, it may be this or it may be that, how are they going to tell you about something that you may not even know? And these things cannot be revealed so easily because there's so many outside influences saying one thing or another. But if you get to that point where you can kick your determination and your will, see, that opens up a whole nother medicine cabinet. That opens up a whole nother medicine cabinet for you. Because certain chemicals and certain things within your body start to release. And they work on something. They work on your mind. Like I said earlier, your mind is the engine of everything that's going on. You can see things and your mind interprets it as one thing. You can feel things. Your mind interprets it as another thing. But you have to understand that you are in control of what's going on to a certain degree. That's why you have to be careful. You have to be careful about who and what you expose yourself to. Crack open, and in some cases, kick that door open. Understand that your will to survive, your will to do things, it's all up to you. Let's say you pray for a job. Your faith. You have faith that you're going to get this job. See, when you pray for something, again, it opens up your conscious mind of what you may need to do. All of a sudden, because you have prayed for a job, your intentions may be to go out and apply only for 2 or 3 jobs that day. But because you have prayed, and in your subconscious as well as your conscious mind, they start to work together. They start to work together. Now, you were just going to apply for these, just a few jobs. Now, all of a sudden, you see a sign in the window that says, help wanted. You know, you go to that place of business. Not because it was your intentions on going to that particular one, but because you have opened the door to seek a job. You'd be surprised. Now you've got the job. You've just been hired. Had no intentions on going there, but you cracked open the door between your subconscious and your conscious. So now you are being moved by a feeling that you didn't even have in the beginning. But because you have prayed, and because you have knocked the door down for your will, for your determination, it makes you move in a certain way. And if you want to contribute that to prayer, then so be it. So be it. As long as the job gets done, as long as the outcome is what you have expected. Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. But when we start making excuses about why we're not doing this and why this is not happening, you must first look at what you're doing to make it happen. If things are not working in your favor and things are not being done in the degree in which you feel that they should be being done, maybe you need to look at exactly what you're doing. Maybe you need to stop justifying certain things when you know you can do more. Years ago, our grandparents would probably be laughing at us. The things that we complain about today, our grandparents would be laughing at us because we had to stay over an extra hour at work because we didn't have the right food to eat that particular night. Man, some of our grandparents and stuff, man, you know, they went maybe days without food. And talking about staying over work an extra hour, what about staying over, not getting sleep for a couple of days because you need to get something done? And see, they had will back then. They had determination, but things are so easy for us now. So we lose that will, we lose that determination because if it's not happening immediately, we get discouraged. We get discouraged because things are not happening immediately. Think about these things. Please, think about these things, because the strength that we have within ourselves, it hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. We're just waiting for something or someone else to pick up the weight to carry for us. And it's no weight. It's no weight. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to succeed? Friends are important. Friends are very, very important. Positive friends. Friends not telling you what you want to hear, but friends telling you what you need to hear. May not be good. It's called constructive criticism. It may not be good all the time, but sometimes you need to be shocked into reality. You need to be shocked into making a change for yourself. So these situations and circumstances that you may be going or getting yourself involved in, you can't always pray yourself out of things, because when things happen and your faith runs low, you cannot blame the situation. The rule book has already been given to you. Follow the rule book, and you'll be surprised how your life will change. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm Ryal Thomas, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.